So for those of you who know our intro by now, that first highlight is Derek Jeter's 3,000th hit. It was 14 years ago yesterday that actually happened. 14 years that Derek Jeter hit his 3,000th hit. And it's actually kind of crazy. Welcome to the Equinox, ladies and gentlemen. That's Siriani, Maglowski, CJ pushing the buttons. I haven't seen CJ in a long time. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? So you're correct. So it is the first time that we saw CJ in a long time doing the stuff for us. So when you were talking about it happened 14 years ago with Derek Jeter hitting the 3,000th home run against David Price, I was saying, do you remember when the Yankees were good, Matt? Because they haven't been doing so good. Why don't you tell our fans what's been going on with them?
Okay. So obviously, out of an abundance of caution, the Yankees made a ton of moves. Part of it is DFA and DJ LeMahieu. Part of it is putting Jazz back at second finally. Part of it is getting rid of their weaker relievers because one decided to throw a meatball to Cal Raleigh, and now you got DFA'd. Part of it is the lack of incompetence, and part of it is just bad baseball. And I can never understand Aaron Boone's pressers. His pressers are like the worst. Like the game where Anthony Volpe had a ground ball that he should have handled against the Mets, and CJ will know this. Remember when Anthony Volpe bobbled a ground ball that should have been an easy play? In Aaron Boone's press release, when he was like, "Oh, do you think Anthony Volpe should have made the play?" This was his press conference. Yeah, he should have made the play. It's a joke. Aaron Boone is a joke, and the fact that he's still our manager is a joke.
Because what Sal said, because he's the yes man.
He is the yes man. Seriously,
I would say, you know what? Get the F out of here.
Seriously, get out of here.
Pack your bags, get
out of here. And honestly, I think Carlos Mendoza might be on his way out too.
You think so? No.
Already?
No. Actually, I think your lovely GM,
Cashman,
Brian Cashman, get out of here.
He's overstayed his welcome. He's overstayed. Yeah, seriously. There it goes. See ya.
Yeah,
seriously, I can't take anymore with this trio. If George Steinbrenner were still alive, everyone would be gone.
They would.
Boone would be gone. Cash would be gone. But with Hal Steinbrenner, it's like a completely different story. I've made rants about this over and over and over again. And my friend Kevin Zelikowicz, who I got to give a shout out to on this show,
right.
He put up like a 12-minute rant video on his TikTok.
Okay,
about how incompetent the Yankees are.
Now, was yesterday the final game of the series, or are they playing tonight?
They play tonight.
All right, so Matt, I know you're pissed because you couldn't watch the game last night because it was on Prime Video.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Matt's like Prime.
I can't take that anymore. Yeah. I can't take it anymore.
Because last night the Phillies won 13-0, and they had a position player through pitch ninth inning, Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah,
because I hate that, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to watch Mets-Orioles game last night, and then it was with the Storms, they got postponed. So I turned on ESPN, and they were giving us highlights of the Reds shelling, knocking around Sandy Alcantara in the first inning.
For that, yeah.
And then they showed the Yankees.
They showed the Yankee game.
Oh, crap, it's on Prime.
It was basically the red zone version of baseball. Because basically, what was supposed to happen was the Mets, like Carl said, the Mets and Orioles were supposed to play last night. They didn't. So ESPN improvised and said, you know what, let's just do squeeze play with Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They showed every single game, the highlights from every single game, and the latest from every single game, which I like. They should do more of that.
All right,
but they don't.
So far, you won Tuesday night and you won last night, right?
Correct.
All right, so tonight you're going for the sweep.
Yes.
Did the Blue Jays sweep the White Sox?
The Blue Jays actually lost a game to the White Sox.
When? Yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
All right, so if they lose, so what are they, still 3 up on the Yankees?
They're 2.5 up. So if the Yankees win today, they're going to be 2 up, exactly.
Okay. Let's ask CJ to do us a favor. Well, like, if he could go back to his standings about a week and a half ago in the AL East.
Don't show me this.
Because I want to see how much ground the Blue Jays made up and what they passed the Yankees.
Well, I can tell you this. It was a 10-game swing because I know that after the Royals series.
They were up by 5?
They were up by 7 games.
7?
They were up by 7.
Wow.
7-0-3, yeah. It may.
Yeah, try that,
Yeah,
CJ.
July 3rd. The standings as of July 3rd. Okay.
Is that right?
Now there's a website that allows you to do that. I forget what it is. I don't know if it's ESPN, but they have like a little thing where it's like MLB standings as of.
All right, so here it is. Here it is. So in the last 10, they're 9-1.
No.
So they're 4-6. So they were basically
5 games. They made a 5.
They made up 5 games, and that's what it was. They surpassed
in the last 10 games. They made up a 5-game. Wow,
that's what it was because they were 4-6, and they've been on that hot streak.
Yeah.
So right now, like we said last week,
look at the Astros.
Actually, if the Astros slim down, the Blue Jays, if they win the East, they could probably be the 2. I think Houston may be the 2 going forward. But
I think Houston might be the 2 season.
I won't be surprised if the Blue Jays, if Blue Jays keep doing this. I wouldn't be shocked if they'll be the 3 seed.
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
possible.
But like we said, Detroit's going to be the 1.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Tigers are the 1 seed no matter what.
Yeah,
because they're cruising right now in their division. They're 13 games up on the Royals, who are in second place. I also want to mention that the Yankees called up Cam Schlittler.
Cam Schlittler.
Cam Schlittler.
Schlittler.
Well, you could say Schlittler, but he didn't play like shit on Tuesday when he pitched. Or last night when he pitched. He pitched 5 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs in his debut, and it amounted to a 9-6 Yankee victory in 5 1/3. So, I mean, listen, the Yankee rotation is in disarray because now Clark Schmidt's out for the year.
Right.
But like I mentioned before, there were some positives. DJ LeMahieu got kicked out. He got DFA'd. Thank God for that. So now what you have now is a situation where, and they called up Jordan Vivas to replace DJ LeMahieu's roster spot. So now you're in a situation where, okay, third base is starting to look up. You want to be even better? Get Eugenio Suarez to come to New York. The Diamondbacks might be sellers at the deadline.
Okay. So my question is for CJ over there.
Oh, I would love to hear this.
All right, so with
I can hear you.
with the us and the Mets. All right, so with the Phillies and the Mets. So do you think one of them will be the 3 seed and the other one will be the 5, or do you think the other one will be the top wild card?
Which one?
So whoever wins the East will be. So whoever wins the East, either Phillies or the Mets, will be probably the worst of 3 seed. Whoever is in second, whoever's
in second is going to be the wild card.
Whoever doesn't win the division, do you think they'll be the top wild card, the 4 seed, or do you think they'll be the 5 seed?
The Mets?
Either for the Mets or Phillies.
Yeah.
Well, the Dodgers probably be number 1, I think, right?
Dodgers are going to be number 1, yeah.
So it's between the Cubs, Mets, and Phillies for the season.
Cubs are playing all right.
Yeah, Cubs are by the end though. I guess it depends on the trade deadline.
You want to know who's actually surging? The Milwaukee Brewers are surging. The Brew Crew look really good. That kid Jacob Mizorowski looks really incredible.
Yeah, I'm not worried about. What's good than what the Cubs is. The Phillies have the season head to head over the Cubs.
Yes,
so that's good. The Giants, they didn't win the season series with the Giants. I don't see the Giants doing anything anyway.
You want to know what cost you the season series with the Giants? Patrick Bailey.
Yeah, that stupid Jordan Romano
inside the park home run.
That's horrible. So I think actually, CJ, pull up the wild card. Pull up the wild card standings in the National League.
Yeah.
Let's go over that real quick.
Yeah, the National League wild card's interesting, especially if you're looking the NL, yeah. National League wild card standings. But National League standings are fine too. That'll help out. There you go. Now see more, and then you go to
this is the regular. Where's
National League?
Let's go wild card.
Why don't they have wild card on?
They should have wild card.
This site doesn't do wild card.
All right, let's do ESPN. It should be
ESPN's a valuable site. Just don't do Wikipedia. That's not a valuable source. There you go. MLB wild card.
It just depends. I got to do this because then sometimes MLB.
Here we go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got it. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now you're gonna probably run into an ad where it's like cookies or something like that.
National League.
So you scroll down the National League. There's the Yankees and
that's
the American League.
American League.
And you scroll down, you'll find the National League. And there you go.
So here it is.
There you go.
So you got
the Brewers are the top wild card spot right
here
now.
It is. So it's Brewers, Mets, Giants. I'm not worried about the Padres. I'm not worrying about the Cardinals. I'm not worrying about the Reds. So, Padres, I'm not worried about them. We play them starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to knock them down farther. I'm not worrying about them.
And the Cardinals, you're not really worried about either.
I think
No.
the Mets are going to get the first wild card, and Philly's going to win the division.
The way it looks right now, I wouldn't blame you. Milwaukee might even take the 4 seed.
Maybe, but
They might.
I'm not. So, what happened to Reese Hoskins is he's out for a month and a half.
Oh no.
He hurt his wrist. So, he hurt his wrist, whatever.
Oh no.
So, he's out 6 weeks.
Wow.
So, that hurts them. So, he's out a month and a half.
Mhm.
So, I'm not worried about, Giants, they can't score. Padres, that organization, that team has been all shambles.
They're up and down.
With Machado and Tatis, they haven't done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Even
The Mets won the series versus the Dodgers.
They did. They won the season
Now,
series. Yeah.
we beat them 2 out of the 3 in April. We don't see them again until September.
You want to know what the Mets need, and you want to know what CJ needs? They need Grimace back.
Yeah. Need some. I don't know.
This is what we'll go about other what they could do with the Mets and the Yankees at the deadline. But this is what I heard about the Phillies. What the Phillies may do.
What did they do?
What they are thinking about doing.
What would they think about
They're
doing?
talking about making a phone call to the Cleveland Guardians
For
and try to get Emmanuel Class A
no way.
and potentially Stephen Kwan.
No way.
Yes.
No shot.
So if they get those two and get rid of probably Mick Abel,
you're gonna throw like
maybe Johan Rojas, and maybe Andrew Painter.
okay.
If they do that, you get Kwan for a couple of years, and you get Class A.
Wow.
Bam!
That's massive for your bullpen because
I'll take that.
if you have Class A, that like eclipses anything your bullpen has done all year.
Yeah, because Romano, his ERA is over 7.
Yeah, and he proved it again.
He stinks.
He proved it again against.
So guys are all gonna win. So every time we go to the game in person and we see him come out, everybody loves Raymond, right?
Yeah,
We call him Ray. Ray Romano coming out from the bullpen.
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
Oh man. So the Yankees and Mariners have just gotten away. Marcus Stroman is on the mound for the Yankees. My
Stroman
God.
bread.
I wish. I wish. Marcus Stroman sucks. I'll be honest. He sucks.
You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck.
The Mets need Senga to come back and Mania.
Well, they need the help.
Omar Minaya, maybe.
You want to know what sucked? Losing Jose Quintana kind of sucked for the Mets.
Well, he's been doing pretty
he's
good
doing good this year.
for Milwaukee.
Yeah,
right?
he's doing good for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's a really good sleeper. But I also want to get into another thing, and this is actually kind of cool. The Home Run Derby is coming up soon,
Right.
and 6 of the 8 participants have been announced. Now, if you want me to announce who those participants are, I will tell you. So, Brent Rooker is the latest person to throw his name into the hat. Then we got Cal Raleigh, the Major League Baseball's leading home run hitter, Ronald Acuna Jr., James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, Junior Caminero, and those are your 6 when you had Brent Rooker in there. Byron Buxton was supposed to be in the home run derby, but he took a hit by pitch to the hand, and now he's kind of up in the air as whether or not he's going to participate in the home run derby.
They possibly talked about Byron Buxton too from the Twins going to the Phillies, but
Yeah,
with him getting hit by a hand again, he's always injured. Nah,
yeah.
don't want to touch him.
So now you got 2 spots remaining, and I put a solution in there. If you wanted to put in like 2 people, just put in.
How about Kyle Schwarber?
Yeah, I was gonna say Kyle Schwarber. Another person would be Ellie De La Cruz.
Yes, that could have worked.
Like those are your 8 right there. I know the Yankees are not going to allow any of their players to participate in the home run derby because this is what they do every year. They don't want Judge participating. The Dodgers don't want Ohtani participating because that's just how it works.
How about this? What if Matt Olson?
Matt Olson wouldn't be a bad move either.
Matt Olson would be a good move.
Matt Olson wouldn't be a bad move either. But of those 6 names, like this is why the home run derby is losing its luster. I said earlier today, if Aaron Judge was in the home run derby and Aaron Boone gave him the luxury to participate whenever he wants, he'd probably be a 5-time home run derby champion. Because this guy, even when he's half-ass swinging, he hits it far. It's actually kind of astounding. But like if the Yankees were allowing guys to participate, I think Jazz Chisholm Jr. would also be in the home run derby if the Yankees didn't restrict their players from going in.
What about Lindor?
Lindor also. Alonso was a mainstay in the home run derby for a little
declined.
bit, and then he declined. And I think the reason why Alonso declined was because he wants to focus on getting the Mets back to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why Ohtani doesn't do the home run derbies anymore. And even the one year he did it, he stunk.
Yeah. So back to the All-Star game. Now you're going to be happy, Matt. On Tuesday, they're doing ABS.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we need it.
So what everybody knows what ABS is. Basically, it's what they had in spring training. So
yes.
if the umpire called a strike and they could, if they think it's wrong, they could challenge it. So you're going to have 2 challenges for each team. If you get them both right, you still keep your challenge.
And this is per at bat.
Yes.
Okay, so
through the whole,
They did that in spring training, right?
Yeah, they did it in spring training.
I liked it. Actually, kind of liked it.
I liked it too. It's funny. I was watching the Yankee Brewer game on opening day, and one of the Brewers struck out on a bad pitch, and one of the Brewers was like, after he struck it, was like, so I was like, okay, it's inevitable at this point.
Well, the umps are so doing so bad.
The umps are dog shit.
Yeah,
Let's
so
be honest.
I didn't watch the game, but on the game on Wednesday between the Phillies and the Giants, whoever's pitching for the Phillies, they're right down the plate in the box. They call it a ball.
What?
The Mets, the catcher of the Mets, at the end of the game was a big game, and they lost. But if you looked on this app right here, they were all
you have the Major League Baseball.
I mean, they were all balls. They were all balls.
Yeah.
All of them were balls, and he called all 3 strikes.
What?
And they were all balls.
Yeah, this ABS system needs to come in sooner rather than later. You want to know why? It's because I know human error is typical. We're all not perfect. We understand that.
Right.
But you know what? If Angel Hernandez is only a sign of things to come for umpires, you need to stop it.
Right.
You need to stop before it gets worse. Because Jazz Chisholm Jr. almost got suspended for a game earlier this season for arguing with an umpire over a human error call.
Right.
And again, this doesn't need to happen all the time. But the thing that pisses me off is that Major League Baseball, they want to put this ABS in. They've taken forever to do it. And I even said it. I said it, and Carl can verify that. I said it in 2019. I said robot umpires are coming. In 2019, I said it.
Yeah, they're starting doing it in spring training. They're starting to do it.
I said it. And you know what? I guarantee by 2026, it's going to be in full effect.
Now, I want to throw a question to both you guys.
Okay.
Do you think they should stop having position players pitch?
Yeah,
I think they should.
That's kind of annoying. Yeah.
It's kind of you have all these guys. You have all these guys, believers in the bullpen. I don't care. You're getting blown out. They should use your pitchers. It's not. You know what I'm saying? They should just eliminate that.
I also remember there was one time last year during a Dodgers and Marlins game. The Marlins were getting blown out, and I think they were throwing lollipops to Ohtani, and Ohtani kept hitting home runs.
Yeah.
And they didn't take Ohtani out, and the Marlins were absolutely apoplectic at the Dodgers about that.
I would be. If I was the Marlins next game, Ohtani was up, I would just plunk them.
Yeah, pluck him. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I were the Yankees and I saw Ohtani, I'd pluck him too.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Beam, plunk them. Sorry.
Seriously, I can't take it anymore. Hey, listen, they're on a 6-game losing streak. Thank God. But I also I also want to go into a couple other things in Major League Baseball now that we're here. So the ball, this is actually a fun story I wanted to talk about. My friend John Welch told me a story, and I think this is actually cool, that the state of Oregon has constructed a baseball park for a Major League Baseball team. Now, we talked about this, I think last year or the year before, about how MLB can probably expand. Oregon, I didn't have on my bingo card as having a Major League Baseball team because Oregon's not really they're known for the Oregon State Beavers baseball team.
No, it's they would have to have a retractable stadium like the Mariners because it gets cold up there.
It does in the Pacific Northwest.
It rains a lot up there in Oregon. So yeah, I would basically you should have a retractable roof like how it is in Seattle, and then also Toronto, Rogers Center.
Yeah,
same thing with same thing used to be Minute Maid Park, but now it's named somewhere. It'll be named another thing now. I don't know what they call it now, but when it's nice outside, you have the roof open, but when it's like nasty, you could close it.
Right.
It's. I don't know.
If there was a 30-second team, I think I know where it would go. Now, you might remember this because you were here in studio with Kevin Wall when you guys did the show together. There was rumblings about another expansion team in like North Carolina, and some businessman. This was years ago. I have a good memory of things.
Yeah, I think it was doing.
Yeah,
I remember that. I think I was in that episode. I was there.
Yes, CJ was producing that episode. I wasn't even there, but I know about this.
Yeah, I think it was like North Carolina. I also think about Nashville.
Nashville, I knew about the whole situation. The scenario was if they brought a team in Nashville, it would have been, they would have called themselves the Nashville Stars, and Justin Timberlake would have been their owner.
That's weird, but Nashville would be a really good place.
I think they should bring back
really good there.
Bring back the Expos.
Bring back the Expos, and redo Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
In Nashville?
No.
Nashville.
No, Montreal.
Go back to Montreal.
Oh, Montreal.
Go back to Montreal. Create and
go back to Montreal and redo the Olympic Stadium. If you have to I think they're still there, but just do the renovate the inside.
Yeah.
Put more suites together
and have the same uniforms because those are awesome.
Yeah, I loved the Expo uniforms. Loved them.
Or why don't you just send the Rays up there?
Or you can do that. Well, no one cares in Tropicana Field or St. Petersburg.
Yeah, no
one goes there anymore. And the Rays are actually playing in our ballpark. They get more attendance in our spring training ballpark than they did in St.
Or
Petersburg.
send the Marlins up there.
No,
the Marlins don't play nobody.
I love their park. I go down there. I love their ballpark, but there's no one
goes in there. But it's still a good ballpark.
They don't even sell the top row.
No,
the whole top.
Well, that's just because the team sucks. That's why.
No one goes, but it's a great park.
Like 9,000 people. 9,000 people go there.
And honestly, the tickets that they charge tickets for like $12-$13 for Marlins games. You can get a pizza pie with that.
Now, why is that? They just don't care about the Marlins, or what?
Well, you want to know what happened after they let Kim Neg go? It's been a downward spiral for the Marlins.
Now, when she was there, what were they drawing? About 20,000?
They were drawing 10,000, 20,000 fans.
They would fill the bottom, they wouldn't sell the top, but they'd sell you the bottom, and it looked full, like on TV, because they wouldn't show the top. It would look pretty full, but it's a great park though.
It is a great park. I
just saw like a video or something where a guy gets up in the 7th and he goes, "I got to leave. I got to beat traffic." And they're like, "What? There's nobody here."
But I remember that team got torn to shreds when Derek Jeter became part owner. That's what killed him, because then he got rid of like Jazz, or no, he didn't get rid of Jazz. Jazz came later, but he got rid of Giancarlo Stanton. He got rid of Marcell Ozuna.
He was there when they got rid of Carlos Stanton to the Yankees?
Yeah. He was part owner when they got rid of Stanton.
Oh.
And he was also part owner when they got rid of Marcell Ozuna. Yeah. That Derek Jeter blew up that organization.
Well, the Mets might be getting one of their pitchers. That's the trade rumor.
Oh, Sandy Alcantara?
Yeah.
I want him. I want him more than you want him.
We'll see. Highest bidder.
It's going to be like auction for Sandy Alcantara. But like the Yankees need him a lot because the rotation is terrible and banged up. Think of it. It's Fried and Rodon right now. Will Warren, Cam Schittler, as you call them.
Yeah.
And then I guess the 5th starter is Stroman, but Stroman's doo-doo. He's terrible.
All right, so how old is Garrett Cole?
He's 33, 34.
Okay, so Tommy John. So next year he may not be the Garrett Cole of old. He might just coming back, and it's going to probably take
at that point you're going to expect 5 innings out of him every inning.
So next year he's going to come back, but it's not going to be vintage. He's not going to be vintage Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
So you might see Garrett Cole, actual Garrett Cole, back in maybe 27. So when he's like 36 years old. Now
I like the sound of that.
This is what's basically what's going to kill the Phillies. So at the end of just two more years. So Wheeler is signed through next year in 2027. He said after 2027 he wants to retire and just walk away and spend time with his wife and his kids.
Okay.
If that's the case, we have him for 2 more years. You have to go all in and try to win in the next 2 years with him. Because after that, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because he said, After 2027 season, I'm going to retire. So
It's like Tyreek Hill announcing after when I turned 30.
no,
I'm
but
gonna
I
retire.
understand.
I understand because family's important.
He's been 37 years old. He's the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now, like I was watching the game yesterday.
right.
With the Phillies and Giants. Verlander at 42. I feel sorry for the guy. He's winless because they're not scoring enough runs for the guy. 42 years old. He's still throwing 95, 96.
He's still throwing gas.
He is.
Yeah.
So do you think after this year he hangs it up, or he's going to go try to find another? I want to listen to this.
Go back to the Mets.
No, I think
Go back to the Mets.
no.
Go back
If
to
he
Detroit.
he's next year.
Go back to
He'll probably
Detroit.
go to Detroit next year and then retire after he go.
Honestly,
one more year.
have him in that rotation with Tarek Skubal. That would actually be kind
So I think he'll do that. He'll probably see if he can go back to Detroit
yeah.
and then retire after next year.
Well, he has to know his place if he goes back to Detroit because Tarek Skubal is the main man in
No,
town
he's
now.
gonna be a fifth starter,
Yeah.
but I guarantee he'll try. Do you imagine if he has like how, LeBron had his tour in what if after next year, right?
Yeah.
Say we're jumping off base.
Okay.
LeBron after next year, he plays this year with the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next year he says, you know what? I'm going to play one more year and I want to retire, play my last year in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand that. Now, I want to get into NFL and transition to that because I just got the strangest. Well, this is actually kind of bad, but it came through my fantasy football app of all places. Najee Harris sustained an eye injury after a fireworks mishap on the 4th of July, but is expected to be ready for the start of the season. I had to mention this because this reminds me of the JPP incident on the 4th of July where he blew off his fingers.
Yes.
Gotta be careful with your fireworks. You really gotta be careful with your fireworks. Those things can hurt you and maybe even kill you.
Yes.
But now I have other stories for the NFL. And this next one actually involves the Netflix series Quarterback, which features Kirk Cousins this year.
Okay.
So Kirk Cousins said in the Quarterback documentary that he says he was misled by the Atlanta Falcons after they drafted Michael Penix Jr.
That's what he says.
And honestly, I don't blame him for saying that because the Falcons signed him a 4-year, $180 million contract, and then you draft Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall. I can just remember watching that draft and being like, what the hell are the Falcons doing? And then they bench Kirk for Penix when their season was going haywire. And now Kirk is, I think, an unrestricted free agent.
No, he's still there.
He's still with the team?
He's still with the
They're
team.
holding him hostage.
Well, they're saying I don't think any other team's going to sign him to be a starter.
Yeah, but you want to know why? Because I don't know if that contract is fully guaranteed, but if it is fully guaranteed, another team would have to pick up that contract.
I think it was 181 mil.
Correct.
I think
For 4 years, so he's got 3 years left on the contract.
I think he got 100 guaranteed, or he got a big sum.
100 million guaranteed. This guy is making guaranteed money everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He nickeled and dimed the Minnesota Vikings while he was there. He nickeled and dimed them every year. I'll never forget like the 3-year, $84 million fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah,
that was insane. But now he's got 100 million guaranteed in Atlanta, and he's not even starting. Like that's ludicrous.
Yeah, I don't know. CJ, can you pull up Kirk Cousins' contract with the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah,
please?
it's 4 years, 181. I just forget how much is guaranteed because, well, it's more than half the contract is guaranteed. But I just want to see like how much of it is guaranteed. So contracts and salaries. What website is this? Sportrack.
What year?
2024. So he's getting 40 million this year.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 4 years, 180.
Base and his signing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what his guaranteed was.
The guarantee money, I'm drawing a blank. But it said like this year he's supposed to make.
Say it like if I click here now.
Nah, you could try. The guaranteed money, I think it may be 100 million now that you mention it. Unless there's like, wait, hold on. Go. What's that? What's down that second from the right? Second on the right.
Here.
That's
Match
that
contract.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
It's a lock.
There's a lock on it.
Yeah, I just got disturbing news, and this is going back to Major League Baseball. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is in the home run derby.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, here it
That's-
is. 90 million guaranteed.
Oh boy.
I see it on the bottom.
Is he
90
not-
million
bottom?
guaranteed.
So half the
Down
contract
here.
is guaranteed.
Yeah, so we were up by 10 mil.
Oh wow. Oh boy. So that sucks. The Jazz in the home run derby, but like think of it this way: if you were told that you're going to be our starter for 4 years, and then then they draft someone in the first round as a potential starter for the franchise, you'd be pissed off too, and you feel like you're misled. Next story we got on the list is Eli Manning was supposed to be the minority or partial owner of the New York Giants, but he pulled out saying it was too much money
Okay.
and it'd be too difficult. John Mara and Steve Tisch pissed me off because this team is like, well, they're not even close to their fathers. Wellington Mara was the quintessential. He's a Paisan, he's a Jersey guy, Wellington Mara, but his son or grandson, I forget what John Mara. I think he's his son, but the Mara's Tisch partnership is not working since 2011. It hasn't worked. And honestly, when we go over our division predictions next time, which will probably be July 31st, I don't know if this Giants team is going to finish in third place in the division. This Giants team is terrible.
Terrible.
Well, hey, listen, the Dallas Cowboys are a disaster, but at least they could beat the Giants. They've proven that.
Right.
But my thing with the Giants is at least they're trying to put something together. Like the Giants are at least trying.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's going to work. I think at season's end, if things don't work out, which I think they're not going to work, I think Brian Dable's probably a dead man walking.
Right. I think, let's see. I think we should I think we should come back. I think we should come back on 23rd.
23rd.
Yes.
All right, that works out because the 24th I have a rock concert. So that works out.
Yeah, that's fine because I got an appointment. I got with my mom that day on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So at 3 o'clock.
All right, the 23rd it is. Well, I'll pencil that down. I'll mark it down.
Yeah, we could do our picks then and all that stuff.
Yeah, that works out.
Because the following week is the Hall of Fame game, I think.
That is correct. July 31st. And that will also be when they enshrine the latest Hall of Fame class, which Eli Manning is not a part of. That still pisses me off, by the way.
Why?
Because the guy beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. You're telling me that's not Hall of Fame worthy?
Well, his regular season record sucked.
Well, it's 500. It doesn't suck.
It sucked.
It
sucked.
It's not. It doesn't suck. It's just below average.
Mediocre.
Okay,
He's a
fine.
mediocre quarterback.
Yeah, but you're telling me the guy with the 2 best postseason runs in NFL history doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Besides if he didn't have a playoff resume, he's a mediocre quarterback.
But he's still top 10 in every passing category. Top 10 in every passing category.
How many years did he play?
He played 16 years.
How does he have? Let's look at his career, CJ.
I know he threw way too many interceptions.
Let's pull up Eli Manning's.
Well, you're gonna bash him because you're an Eagles fan.
No. I'm not gonna bash because I'm an Eagle fan.
You're gonna bash him because actually, I don't think he even played good against the Eagles. He had a good game here and there. All right, here we go. Yeah, zoom in on that if you can. Yeah, 117. That's his win-loss record in the regular season.
Is it?
That's his career win-loss record in the regular season. In the playoffs, he's 8-4.
well, there was some bad years there, but he has some really good ones.
Yeah, and look at the interceptions. The interceptions are bad.
So he'll get in. He'll get in not because of his regular season. He'll get in because of the playoffs.
Yeah,
because he beat Brady twice.
but you want to know what's really amazing? So I don't know if the name Jim Plunkett rings a bell to either of you guys, but that's a guy who
I know Plunk. I know Jim.
Yeah,
I know who Jim Plunkett is.
Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders, and he doesn't even sit the Hall of Fame. But probably part of it is because before he even got to Oakland, he was terrible.
Yeah, because he played with the Patriots.
The Patriots, who were then who were in Boston at the time, and they were bad.
You know,
And he was bad. But like Eli, this is a guy who a lot of Giant fans like, and I like the fact that like he's a media darling too. Like I think it's criminal that you have Peyton in, but not Eli.
actually, you know what? CJ, pull up Phil Simms.
Well, Phil Simms is another argument.
Put in Phil Simms' resume. Phil Simms'
Career stats.
career stats.
He does not have as good a compelling argument as Eli Manning.
What was his record?
Is that
He was 31 games above 500.
what is that 95 and 61? 95 and 61?
95 and 64.
That's
31
really
games above 500.
What's his touchdown interception ratio?
199 to 157.
His yards are less, right?
His yards are less.
His yards are significantly less.
But the year that, because I remember, I watched Phil Simms. So the era that he played in, you came across the line, you closed on Pete, you closed on him.
That's true. That's true.
It was a different football back then.
Let the record show also that Phil Simms had probably the most efficient Super Bowl performance in history.
Yeah, 20 for 20 or
22 25 against the Broncos.
No, Phil Simms was good. Now
Simms was good. He actually has a football game in New Jersey named after him. The Phil Simms Classic.
Now I feel sorry for him. If he doesn't get hurt in 90,
and Jeff Hostetler doesn't come in.
No, I'm saying if he never gets hurt,
I think he's
I think that Giant team would have blown out Buffalo.
I agree
because
Jeff Hostetler was not on it. Did not have a good day that day.
No, because Simms would have. I think Simms would have. I think he would have been a lot better than
he would have slung the ball around better than Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah, and that's how he lost. He got hurt in 90.
Are they okay there?
And then from 91 to 92, he was a backup for Hostetler.
Oh, we're going. We're good. That's weird. We're still live. We're still good.
So yeah, so when he got hurt in 90, he was out for the following year in 92.
Mm-hmm.
And then 93, Dan Reeves comes in and Hostetler is in.
I remember.
He went to the Raiders.
I remember that. Yeah, Jeff Hostetler
went to the Raiders.
Yeah, CJ's trying to figure stuff out, but we'll figure. We'll care.
It clicked off.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, we're still going. Okay, we're good. I always want to check in on everything.
Somewhere.
That's weird. But like the thing with Jeff Hostetler, you mentioned it before. Like if Dan Reeves came in, Dan Reeves came in late in Phil Simms' career. He was the Giants coach. That's another guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anyone says.
Now, what happened now? I don't remember now. They didn't want to sign Hostetler, and then Al Davis gave him the money.
Well, what happened was Ray Hamlin.
Ray Hamlin was a coach.
Ray Hamlin was the coach, and he was terrible.
And he got fired.
After 2 years.
And then what made Wellington Mara didn't want to pay Hostetler?
They didn't want to pay Hostetler because Hostetler was going to be really expensive, and then Phil Simms was on the decline. Like, you know what they say, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. That was what happened.
But in 93, Phil Simms actually played good.
He played good, but then he retired after that.
Yeah.
And then they had to start over again. And then I found out, Kerry Collins came in 90.
Oh, no, you had Dave Brown.
Dave Brown. Oh, God. My God.
Dave Brown. No, before Dave Brown was Jeff Graham.
Oh,
I think,
Jeff
right?
Graham? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So this is an NFL story I want to get into. So you've heard of the Mattress Max story, right? The guy who places $3.5 million bets on the Astros win the World Series.
Yeah.
Some guy who is better from Las Vegas placed a $2.5 million bet that the Las Vegas Raiders win the Super Bowl. And if you're wondering what the betting odds were, it's like 101.
My mics. I don't hear nothing.
I hear you just fine.
No, you hear me?
I hear you. You're good.
I hear you.
You're good. You're good.
All right.
Your headset go off?
I think so.
I think you said when I'm hear you just fine.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, it's a $2.5 million bet that the Raiders would win the Super Bowl. Maybe it's the wire. Maybe no, down there.
Oh,
it did come undone.
It did come undone.
It did come undone.
Oh, it popped out.
Oh.
Here we go.
There you go. There you go. But like,
extender popped
think of it. I think that guy's wasting $2.5 million. Honestly, placing $2.5 million that the Raiders would win the Super Bowl.
I think the Raiders could be a playoff team.
You think so?
Yeah, you got Pete.
The dude's 74.
So
I think he's past his coaching days.
Nah, man, he can still coach.
I mean, listen, if he can still do cartwheels down the sideline, which I think he may have had footage of him doing cartwheels at 74. But like, what?
That's
but like, think of it. 74, you shouldn't be coaching.
I think he'll have a better. I think Pete Carroll will be. I think Pete Carroll will do better with the Raiders than Belichick will do with North Carolina Tar Heels.
I can kind of agree with that. Well, Belichick's under hot water because his girlfriend is actually is like putting him in hot water. Now, you guys know how old Bill Belichick's girlfriend is, right?
That's correct. That's his bad.
Belichick's 75. His girlfriend is 24.
Belichick's 73.
73.
Yeah, that's
24.
Just bad. That's just bad.
Now I know.
Good for him.
Now I know she's old. She's
no offense, but if I was Belichick's fiance's dad, I'll say, "Oh hell no!"
Oh yeah, no. Listen,
oh hell no!
I know Belichick's girlfriend is of legal age.
Hell no!
But you want to know something? This is like a Chris Hansen situation. I'm not even joking. This is like a Chris Hansen. Like, you heard of Chris Hansen, right?
Yes.
The guy who catches like people who try to hook up with minors.
Yeah, it's like
This is
hell no.
This is not in that category, but it's still really awkward.
Oh, hey Matt, put your hood on. Put your hood on.
Oh god.
On your hoodie. So this is Matt. So he'll be like, question. So this will be Belichick and say, the game's over. I'm thinking about. Let's talk about North Carolina. No, let's talk about Pittsburgh. We're going to be talking about Pittsburgh next.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're on to
we're on to Clemson.
Clemson. Yes, we're on to Alabama.
We're on Alabama.
Yeah. And he's going to wear his sleeve. The sleeve's going to be cut off. UNC like this. Like, oh my god.
Oh man, but that guy never ceases to amaze me at this point in his life. But
we're on to Miami.
He even wrote a book about the struggles of coaching over the course of his life, and then apparently, like, I don't know what his girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend's a model, but like, you shouldn't be dating a 24-year-old model if you're 73.
No, man, that's no.
That's like, I don't know what that's like. I don't even want to think about it. I reference Chris Hansen more times I need to today.
If I'm 73 and single, I wouldn't mind that.
You wouldn't mind that?
If I'm 73 and single,
okay. If you're single,
why not?
I think
as long as she's not under 18, that's fine.
We don't talk politics here, but I think she just did it for the money.
Yeah,
because come on, man. What do you were saying?
What's them do? They're gold diggers.
Oh my god, this is great. I love when we're off track, but it's fine. All right. Now I want to get on. So the NBA is actually kind of pissed me off with these contracts.
Why?
Because Devin Booker signed a 2-year, $145 million max extension.
Okay.
Paolo Banchero signed a 5-year, $239 million extension. Jeremiah Williams signed a 5-year, $87 million extension.
But the Thunder signed all the young guys.
They signed their young core for $250
all supermax,
all supermax contracts.
Yes,
and but it's a ridiculous amount of money, like $250 for Chet Holmgren, $285 for SGA, $287 for Jeremiah Williams. Like, that's a lot of money for youngsters.
I don't know, man.
It's a lot of money. Like, why do you need to do that?
Because they want to win.
That's an overpay. Listen, the Thunder drafted really well over the years. Like, when they were a 20 and 62 win team, I was like, okay, they need to turn around big time. But
they were basically mocking Sam Presti, like, what the hell is he doing? He's not going to win nothing. You're eating crow because he just won.
Yeah,
and I'm feeling they might win. They might go back to back. I don't see nobody beating them.
I mean, they're the dominant team in the Western Conference for sure.
Houston now, KD now, Houston now.
Nah, Houston has a problem, and I think it'll be KD in future years because KD is getting irritable. He wants to prove that he can lead a team to a title because in the 2 years that he did it with Steph Curry,
right?
Like, he did it in the NBA Finals because Steph was being double teamed.
Right. Now, they were saying out of Denver that the Joker said he's only focusing on this coming year. So he's not worried about signing an extension right now. So he's just focusing on this season. So they're saying, supposedly Denver retooled.
Yeah.
And they got where would you think? Do you see the Joker staying with Denver after this year, or signing a long-term deal with staying with the Nuggets? Do you think he said, you know what, he may pull maybe a Giannis after this year if Milwaukee doesn't do nothing?
Yeah, it's funny because I know Nikola Jokic was absolutely pissed when they fired Mike Malone as their head coach of the Denver Nuggets because
before that, The Knicks finally now have their coach.
Yeah, it's Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown is Sacramento, the former Kings coach.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? If you watch videos of what this guy does in practice, this guy has no chill. He's cursing players out when they do something wrong. He's yelling at officials. He's running down the sideline. Like, this guy is like an Energizer bunny. But he also brings intensity that the Knicks need, because the Knicks, the problem with Tom Thibodeau, I'm not saying he did a bad job. He exhausted his starters a lot. And I don't think he was really smart about utilizing his bench. Now, Mike Brown is, and he's fiery. So that's, I think, a good thing for
now. But here's the thing: will Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, will they get their pants on fire if they coach him hard?
Well, that would be bad, because I think Karl Anthony Towns. Well, sometimes you need a kick in the ass.
He's a baby. They're babies.
They really are. They're entitled. They're all entitled.
They're babies.
Mm-hmm. And then I also want to get into I haven't gotten contracts. For me, the Knicks need a kick in the rear. And I think Jalen Brunson is going to like this coaching change. I think that as long as they keep his father on the staff, I think it's fine.
Right.
Because I don't know if you're aware, Jalen Brunson's dad is part of the Knicks coaching staff.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why he's playing as well as he has. Because when your father's part of the team, you know synergy.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. I'm trying to think. I want to get into another. There's another thing I want to get into so bad. I can't think of it right now. Oh yeah. So the NHL ratified their CBA for the next 4 years. So starting in 2026, all players are going to have neck guards around them. This is great, because the NHL is very vile and very, 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 very vicious. It's a very deadly sport sometimes.
Right.
But there was an incident, I think, in the playoffs where someone skated on their neck by the player, and it caused major concern. So then they started wearing neck guards on one team, but then they made it mandatory in the new CBA. Okay. The regular season will also go up 84 games.
Okay.
Which I think is also cool. And then also this kid named Gavin McKenna, who's 17 years old. He's only a high school kid. He committed to Penn State University to play his college hockey. Those are like the main things I want to get into. Now, I can't wait for when we get back to college football. When college football gets away, I'm pumped.
All right, so Matt, you want to talk to our viewers and our fans,
yes,
and our listeners about, is there any little tournament going on in your neck of the woods?
Okay. So we discussed this before on Talking Baseball with Sal and Gilletti.
Yes.
That there, I think, is sectionals going on right now. Nottingham is one of the teams.
No, I'm talking about for Staten Island or
Staten Island Little League, yeah.
Or also where
or New Jersey, New Jersey Little League, yeah. So if I were to go to New Jersey Little League, I know I think last time we saw him, there had to have been something. So NJ State Little League. I want to go to the 2025 tournament if I can find it. Oh. So if I were to go to April 12th, not March. Okay, I gotta go a little bit. Here we go. All right, so this is the state tournament brackets on June. Well, this was still on June 30th. This is weird. I can't get. Hold on a second. CJ, can you help us out here? Yeah, look up the. I think it's sectionals for New Jersey Little League. Yeah, New Jersey Little League sectional tournament. Sectional tournament for New Jersey Little League. There we go. And you gotta find 2025 because there's they like the algorithm doesn't really help you. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Right. Go down.
Go down.
Keep going. Go up, CJ. Go up.
Up a little bit more.
Let's go.
Click on that.
Yes.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's
Go up. Okay. Go New Jersey State baseball. Yeah.
Little League, intermediate. You want to go 10 to 12 or
Little League baseball?
Little League baseball. Yeah, click Little League. Yeah, Little League. Joe Graziano, NJ Little League baseball tournament.
Oh, that's basically in Deptford. So that's the states.
That's the state tournament. So
we need to do Section 3. Let's go New Jersey Section 3 state we need to do Section 3 Little League Tournament
It's Section 3 Little League tournament. So I don't know if that's
2025.
if you can find that here, but
Let's go back to
go out to Google.
No, go back to back arrow.
Back arrow. And then
Uh,
NJ Little League Sectional 3.
Sections. Maybe this.
Let's go back up in the up
Go
there.
on the search bar.
Go to search bar.
Search bar.
Do New Jersey
New Jersey.
Section 3 tournament.
New Jersey.
New Jersey Section 3 Little League tournament. Little League tournament.
Little League tournament. There you go.
2025.
2025. Yeah.
2025.
Yeah.
Right here.
Close to that.
Go down.
Down.
Go up.
Second one.
Second one.
There you go. Okay.
So basically, here it is.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
Wincroft. So it starts tomorrow. So Wincroft is District 19.
I remember we were late. We were waiting for District 19 to
No,
be
Milltown is District 12. No, so it's District 10.
Milltown. Okay.
Milltown. Southwall is 11, and Jackson Hollowbrook is District 18.
Yeah.
So then Croft is 8, 19, and
So Lincroft. That's in my area.
then Croft is your area.
Well, Point Pleasant is my area now, but like
You grew up
Lincroft,
with the Lincroft, right? Lincroft Little League.
Lincroft Little League.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I'll root for the team that's close to me. I know absolutely none of these areas like Nottingham. These all have to be like northern Jersey
So
schools.
Nottingham is where I live. Where I live.
Oh, you're near Nottingham?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's by me. So
How is Lincroft right here playing over there? That's pretty big.
yeah. So whoever. So when you win your district,
Yeah.
you go to Section 3. So whoever wins this goes to the states in Deptford.
Yes. And then if you win the state tournament, then you qualify for the Little League World Series regionals.
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Now I want to go to New York because New York,
Here's Tom's River. They're usually in here.
Tom's River didn't make the cut this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Shocking. I'll never forget 1998. Tom's River won Little League One because of Todd Frazier. That was a pretty historic day for New Jersey.
Back to not this right here from Nottingham.
Yeah.
When I was in 1993,
Mhm.
when I was starting football practice,
Mhm. Yeah.
Nottingham made it to the Little League World Series.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So yeah.
How'd they do?
They held the road. They didn't win it, but
They didn't win, but they probably got
they
here.
made it though.
Now the last international team to win the World Series was Japan back in 2017.
Yes.
Ever since then, it's been a lot of USA. And even 2021 was USA because obviously they weren't going to let international teams come to the US because at that time COVID was still a thing.
So if you want to, Matt, you could tell CJ to do your for New York or whatever.
Okay, so now I go to New York Little League tournaments because I want to see how they're doing. Because last year, Staten Island Little League won for the state of New York. Little League.
Do you want to do districts?
Yeah, we'll do districts. Yeah, districts. Little League districts. Little League districts. Yeah, that'll work. Here we go.
2025
2025.
tournament.
Okay, here we go. Tournament calendar, I believe. District 5 has, okay. And that's softball. Baseball, yeah, you want to go Little League baseball. Can you zoom in on that?
So district is 6. So section is
30 at 100%.
Oh, you can go further. There you go.
So right here, district was from.
Districts were
You have
districts just wrapped up today.
that's international. So what is this? So
That's Little League baseball.
that's this. So I don't know for New York. You need to probably go back to New York because this is insane.
Well, it says districts are done, so now you can probably go to sectionals then.
I don't even know what
25. Oh, that's the tournament calendar.
I'll go to New York. I want to go back to New York. That up in the front.
Dan up in the front. So
Where's
go,
New York?
yeah,
Yeah.
the first one. New York State Little League. Section 1.
These are all different.
We can figure this out. We can
All
figure this out.
different sections.
Yeah, I know New York's a big state.
I have no clue.
They're all
Now, Oh, wait, we might have a couple. No, yeah. Wait, District 13. I think we had a couple of champions on there. District 13 has merged with District 14. Okay, so it's just giving you contents of
I
everything.
have no clue.
Okay,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of district for New York State for Little League baseball. Okay, so we'll go back and we'll figure this out. And that was softball anyway, so we'll make it up. District 5 in New York has specific divisions for 9-11 baseball, 10-12 baseball. 10-12 baseball is what we're looking for because that is what Little League World Series is. That's the age range? State Little League.
Is there 10 to 12?
Yeah, there's 10-12. We're just looking for that right now. Oh, there's nothing. God dang, the internet's really killing us today. Okay, here we go.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, it's
8 to 10?
10-12. 10-12.
I don't have it.
Darn. All right.
It's in 9 to
11.
Let's just do 9-11. Let's just do that.
See what that
9-11. Tournament brackets. So you can probably click on the packet, I guess. Yeah, it's like a PDF. Yeah, there we go. So then you go down to page 2 because there's a 2 page. There we go. Oh, this is information for the tournament. Wow, the internet.
that's in Van Ness Little League. I have no clue.
Van Ness, I don't know where Van Ness is actually.
That's Bronx next.
The Bronx. That's Bronx.
Oh, the Bronx.
That's Bronx.
Wow. They might be in those little ballparks outside of Yankee Stadium because there's a bunch of little league ballparks outside of Yankee Stadium. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. Now, Little League World Series, when we actually get to the actual regionals, that'll be fun because then at that point we have everything set. Okay, Little League District 36.
Oh, right here. Who's that? North Shore Little League.
North Shore. I forget what district Staten Island Little League is in, but Staten Island represented New York last year, and they held their own. They didn't win, but they held their own.
District 36. What the heck is District 36?
How many districts are there?
So many. New York's huge.
It is a big state. It is a really big state.
14, 35.
35. How many? My God. What is this? Little League District, New York. All right. So here's what we're going to do. When we come back on the 23rd, hopefully there's more clarity with the Little League World Series and where we're going. I'm actually very excited about that.
Actually, when we come back on the 23rd,
Yeah.
the next day in Deptford, that's when the states start.
For New Jersey?
Yes.
Okay, we'll follow the New Jersey State Tournament as it goes on. Because remember, the winner of that will go to the, I guess it's Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Bristol.
Yeah, in Bristol, Connecticut. Well, it's weird because in the New Jersey's region is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and then Rhode Island. Rhode Island is a New England state, and they have a New England region, which is very weird. But anyway, that is probably going to do it for us, folks. We did very efficiently. We're almost at the hour mark. We will be back on July 23rd. We'll be coming back with our NFL division predictions. We'll be coming back with our New Jersey Little League State Tournament content and our coverage.
And also, we will preview the week before for the trade deadline.
Yes, the trade deadline is literally a week away. CJ could probably use some things for his Mets. But
pitching.
pitching.
Relief pitching because they just lose the games.
Yeah, those other bullpens. Yeah, that's bad. But anyway, from Carl Maglowski, I'm Matt Siriani, and from CJ. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of the Equinox. We greatly appreciate your support. We will be back, and there might be bigger things to come. We're grateful for what we have so far with Shared Universe Podcast Studios. And last but certainly not least, take care of your elders 16 over, because like SpongeBob SquarePants once said, old people are the greatest. They're full of wisdom and experience. Take care, everybody.